to this week's second edition of the Brandstand, where we help business leaders to understand how investing in their brand strategy can help them to grow their business. I'm Craig McVoy, founder of Beyond Brand, and I've been helping businesses to stand out from their competitors for the last 20 years, enabling them to attract more of their ideal customers and then keep them for longer by using our approach. In this episode, we'll be covering off another priority for the CEOs and business owners at the moment, which is our strategy that we had in place before the pandemic still relevant in the new norm? So as we look at your strategy and understand whether it's still relevant in this new norm, the first area that we want to consider is what type of company you are in terms of the category that sits under the loyalty matrix. The loyalty matrix is something that we work with when looking at and understanding where a customer's loyalty is in terms of a brand, because the drivers of that are very different depending on what type of business you have. And we break them down into 4 different types of business, which we can see here. First of all, we have the zombies, which sit in the bottom right corner, and these are people who take up far too much of our time and they give us zero or very low amounts of pleasure. They're the things that we have to do, and they only really exist anymore as a company because nobody yet has invented a better way of being able to deliver the solution. So hopefully none of you sit into that category, but this is the first of the categories in there, which has zero or low loyalty. Next, we have the convenience brands, and these are those brands like Amazon that we spend a low amount of time with, but they give us a low amount of pleasure. And that's fine because the loyalty is driven on the basis of we fall in love with the solution rather than the brand. Nobody or very few people have actually fallen in love with Amazon as a brand, but what we do enjoy is the flexibility and the convenience that they give us by being able to get us what we need as quick as possible so we can move on to doing those other things that we'd rather be doing. Then we have the radical indulgence brands, and these are the ones where we give ourselves a short, sharp burst of pleasure. We don't spend a lot of time with them still, but we indulge in these areas as a bit of a reward, sometimes for getting through the week. This could be anything from your favourite bar or restaurant, maybe even a short trip, or even an outfit, maybe something like a fast fashion new outfit for you to give yourself a bit of a reward there when you're looking to give yourself a bit of a pleasure fix. And finally, we have the brands that sit into the entertainment category, and these are the ones where we spend the most amount of time as we can with them because they give us the highest amount of pleasure. And these are things like holidays. Disney's a great example here. We never want the experience to end because it gives us the maximum amount of pleasure that we can have. So when you are considering where you sit in this matrix, have a think about what will be driving your customer loyalty, because when you reach the far edges of each of these corners is where the loyalty is at its most powerful. And this will also depend at the moment as to what the relevance is in terms of the customer's lives right now. We're all adapting to a new set of priorities, and the hierarchy between yourself and other providers in the marketplace will be what determines how loyal your customers are to you at the moment. They may be downgrading what they spend their money on. They may be downgrading that in terms of the frequency that they spend. They're delaying purchases as well. But it really does depend where you sit in these categories as to how you'll be affected by that. But that then moves on to our second point, which is about connecting with customers. So it's really important that you understand the priorities right now that customers in your domain are having. And if you're one of them, what are the things that they're craving from the old world that they are wanting to get if only they could. But it's important that you're listening to their situation and the changes that have happened in their world in order to be able to stay on board with them and stay connected with them. And then it's about reviewing where you sit in terms of your product mix and where you want to focus for the next 6 to 12 months, because we would expect that we're in this for around that kind of a period of time now. So it's important that you find solutions or adaptations to what you offer, and that you're able to then communicate that out to your marketplace so they know how you can help them in terms of what you're offering. And we're going to need to do this finally in terms of being remote ready. So it's understanding how the technology can help us in these new ways of doing business. It's about supporting your employees so that they're able to win and to deliver their solutions well. And considering the mix of channels that you use to deliver your products and services, regardless of the constraints that are in place right now. So it's important that you've got an opportunity to deliver this. If we go into another set of lockdown criteria, then we could be back where we were, working entirely remote for a period of time. So how geared up are you in terms of being able to work in that manner if required? So just to summarise then, the 3 points that we're looking at is understand the category that your company sits under, where you sit on that loyalty matrix. Make sure we're connecting with customers to understand how they're feeling and what their needs are right now, and then review and change your products and solutions to accommodate that, whilst ensuring that you can do that in a remote ready situation as well. Come on. Look out for the final edition this week of the Brandstand, where we'll be covering off where to cut your cloth in the recession and where not to scrimp. In the meantime, if you want to attract more customers and then keep them for longer, click the link below to access a recent presentation we did on Brand 101. It shows the foundations of a successful brand strategy and how you can apply those to your business. See you next time and stay safe.